What's up, you legends? Just before we dive in, I have spent the last 3 months creating a complete mini course on the exact steps I took to go from struggling rep all the way up to top 1% closer, closing over $19 million in high ticket sales. So if you want that training completely free, delivered straight to your inbox, the link is in the description. Not just based on.
Oh my God.
Don't get me wrong, I would love to get absolutely blind, stinking drunk, but
Yeah. So you told me we're doing this Christmas pod. We're going to make it really Christmassy. I've robbed the fucking Christmas tree out of the living room. I've put on a Christmas jumper, and you've made a piss poor fucking effort turning up with some elf on your head.
how the fuck can you think this is a piss poor effort? Would it make you happier if we pause the pod and I go and get a jumper on?
And the rest of the get up, like full Santa beard,
I haven't
big
got a Santa
stuffed
beard.
belly.
Okay, right. Pause pod. I'm going to get a Christmas jumper on.
Go for it. Oh, that's much better.
That's better, isn't it?
I had this really evil thought that only occurred to me about 7 seconds ago.
So,
If I'd have thought of it when you first went out, I had the thought of just ripping the Christmas jumper off, chucking the Christmas tree outside. So when you came back, I'm just like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
dude, I would have loved it. Look at this. Now I look like a real prick.
Yeah,
Even more so than normal.
even more so than normal. And it's really hard to top that level of prickness.
Anyway, it was a good pod. Thanks.
It was a
and see
good
you
pod.
later.
It was a good friendship. We've just ended it.
But that is now over. What are we talking about, Joshua?
Who knows? What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. All I want to do is day drink.
Well, we can do that as well.
All right. Do you know what? We've got something. I've got something in the office called a what the fuckmas tree.
Mm.
For anybody that doesn't know, the what the fuckmas tree is because it's adorned with ornaments. When you look at them, you just go, what the fuck? Like there's a tiger in a tiara, there's a little wrapper of chips, there's a mobile phone, there's an alien, like baubles that make no sense for Christmas. Basically, nothing to do with Christmas. What the fuckmas tree? Don't tell anybody, but on that what the fuckmas tree, there are some baubles filled with gin. Shall I get one?
Go for it.
Wait, can we get taken off air for like...
We're not on air. We're not Ant and Dec. We're two pricks with a YouTube channel.
Ant and Dick.
Ant and Dick. Look how full that is. That's not even a little tipple. That's a, double measure. That cost you 15 quid in London just for that, without the Coke.
No, it's all right.
What?
No, I got the devil in me.
I know you have, but that's every week. He's hanging out the back of you. We're definitely getting taken off. Go on, treat yourself. Oh, just in one. Feel better?
No.
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 No? What do you feel?
Probably will do in 5 minutes, but right now...
No? Let it kick in. Nice little buzz.
Fucking hell, we're going to get nobody watch this podcast.
No, not at all.
I'm here for the sales training. Well, joke's on you, because it's a week out of Christmas and nobody wants to do any work, including us.
Well, what should we talk about? I've got an idea of something we could talk about.
Let's hear your idea.
I was thinking goal setting. Because it's that time of the year, end of year, going into the next year. Everyone has these big ideas. It's like when you go on holiday and you stand there at the end of the evening, you look out over the horizon, you're like, oh, I get really inspired. It's the end of year. Step into the next. What do you think?
I think it's a good shout. I mean, it'll probably get all of like one view because everybody thinks goal setting and they go, But I agree, it's important because a lot of people, what's the analogy somebody said to me once? They said, well, imagine you're throwing darts at a dartboard blindfolded. That's kind of like how most people treat their careers, their lives, their sales career, whatever it may be.
Okay.
And if you don't have a clear path, like the where is it? I heard that Alice in Wonderland. Alice asks, "Is it the Cheshire Cat?" She says, "You know, which door should I take?" And the Cheshire Cat goes, "Well, where are you trying to go?" And she says, "Anywhere." And his reply is, "Well, then either door will take you there." It's like if you don't know where you're going, well, okay, great. We'll pick a direction, and if you're going nowhere specific, then any fucking direction you go in will take you there.
Yeah.
But by reverse engineering a specific destination or a specific goal, you can then clearly map the road there. So, dude, let's do that.
Yeah. The
Looking like
reason
absolute fucking idiots.
the reason I think it is important as a closer, as a setter, we speak to prospects all day, every day, who they have this idea of something that they want to do,
Yeah.
but there is no clear destination. They are very much Alice in Wonderland, just looking at doors. So we know one of the most important things is conviction and leadership. So being able to uphold that,
Of which neither of us have any right now.
absolutely none at all.
Yeah.
Everyone's gone. It's just us talking, but who cares? It's Christmas. Conviction and leadership. If you don't have very clearly defined goals for yourself, how the fuck do you expect to be able to hold a prospect accountable to theirs when it's not even clearly defined?
Yeah.
So doing it as a closer, as a setter, doing it as anyone, whether you're in sales or not, whether you've just been unlucky enough to see our ugly mugs on YouTube and clicked into this and thought, do you know what? They seem like all right geezers. I'll give it a listen. Setting goals. Where the hell are you ever going to get to in life if you don't?
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? Is people think that they can just drift, and you know where I arrive is going to be largely based on luck. It's like nothing could be further from the truth. Unless you have a specific destination, you cannot reverse engineer the steps necessary to get there. It's like I was having a conversation with a business owner yesterday, and she said, "Well, I want to increase revenue next month." And I said, "Okay, how much would you like to increase revenue by?" And she was like, "I don't know, if we could get an extra 25%. I was like, "Okay, so what's your CAC, cost to acquire a client, for anybody that doesn't know?" She was like, "Not quite sure." I'm like, "Right, that's a problem, because only if, like, that's the goal you want to get to, you know, whatever it is, let's say it's 150 grand a month. If you don't know what your cost to acquire a client is, then you can't reverse engineer the numbers. So if you keep the numbers simple, let's say cost to acquire a client is $1,000, £1,000, whatever. And last month you did 100 grand and you needed, you know, whatever, depending on the price of the program, you needed 20 closes in order to get there. Well, if you want to do 150 grand, that's 50% extra. That means you're going to need 30 closes to get there. If your cost to acquire a client is $1,000, then you know that you need to spend X amount of money on ads, providing close rate holds fast to achieve that goal. So if you don't have that number in mind, well, how much do you want to do next month? Well, I don't know. Okay, great. Then spend what you want, do what you want. Close rate can be whatever it is, and you'll get there if you don't know. But if you know, you can start to reverse engineer the numbers in order to get there. And it's the same for closers, setters. You've got to have a monetary goal in mind, and not just monetary, but, you know, things you want to do with that money, destinations, places you want to go, things you want to buy, people you want to help. And then you can start reverse engineering your numbers. How many dials do I need to make? How many people do I need to pick up? How many meaningful conversations do I need to have? What does my close rate need to be? Then you can start to map a path to get there.
Yeah.
That is kicking in, by the way.
Yeah, kicking in. Feeling good?
No, it's kicking in, but I'm definitely not feeling good.
All right, have another one. See if you feel better after that.
Mate, the rest of the podcast will be like this.
That'd be better than the normal shit we talk about. Maybe people will be happy.
That is true. Dude, looking at you like that is such a fucking juxtaposition for me.
I know.
Because the jumper is so fitting. You are the fucking Grinch.
Yeah.
And this merriment is just throwing me for a loop.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're both tight asses. I was fully planning on getting the realistic, like, latex. You see all the clips on TikTok of the Grinch going around doing all the shit at Disney
Scaring all
lands.
the kids.
scaring the kids.
Love
I
that.
was so tempted to get it, and I was like, do I really want to spend 150 quid for an hour for something that 3 people might watch? And in the back of my head was like, absolutely.
Yes, I do, because I'm an absolute degenerate. Yeah.
But then the tight ass in me went, nah, fuck it. Maybe next year.
Next year,
Next
when
year.
we've got 4 people watching.
When we've got 4 people. We were setting really big goals for ourselves. We're talking about
There's a goal.
goals setting for other people in
I want
12
to increase our
months.
viewership by 0.01%. Oh, great goal, dude. Nice.
Yeah, big goals. But bringing it back, as always, I interviewed a closer the other day, and I said to him, I said, what are your goals? And he was like, well, I want to get to like 25, 30k a month. And I said, okay, cool. Why? And he just sort of stared blankly at me, and I was like, what does 25 to 30k a month feed into?
Mm.
He's like, well, it's just sort of the standard, isn't it? You see people online, that's, you know, pretty good sort of even middle of the road. And I was like, okay, cool. What do you earn right now? And he's like, well, on average, like 5 to 8k. I was like, cool. But like, talk to me about life. Where are you at on 5 to 8? He's like, I'm in a really good place. I'm pretty humble. I live pretty comfortably. I was like, okay. So why do you need an extra 15 to 20k on top of that?
Mm.
He was like, well, it would just be nice. It would sound good. I was like, well, yeah, but going to the beach tomorrow sounds good.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like, on a hard day, when an ad account gets shut down, when you go on a bit of a dry run, what keeps you showing up every single day, pushing to that 25 to 30k a month, if it doesn't feed into anything?
Yeah.
He was like, well, I never really thought about it like that. I just want to sort of prove myself as a closer. And I was like, okay. I mean, that's actually coming on to a bit more of a goal, non-monetary, like proving yourself, self-validation that maybe you can compete, get your skill set to the level where you can earn that money.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, like when I first started, I literally reverse engineered everything. I was like, okay, where do I want to live in the world? What sort of house do I want? What sort of car do I want to drive? What sort of lifestyle do I want to live? What freedom do I want? And just assigned a number to it.
Mm.
And then it means something because it's something you're chasing and there is a payoff at the end. If you just get to 25 to 30k a month just to stick it in the bank and go, yeah, I'm a good closer, you're not going to show up. You're not going to push yourself. When the sales manager is giving you shit because you've been on a bit of a dry run or you have improvements, you're just going to be like, dude, I'm going to bounce. I'm going to go and cruise at 5 to 8 on another offer.
Mm. Yeah.
There's got to be more. You've got to push yourself. And like I said, whether you're in sales or not, I think we see it all the time, right? Especially from prospects. People just wander through life and they have these ideas of things that, again, they say they want to achieve, but there is no meaning attached to it.
Yeah.
It's somebody else's borrowed dream from Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. And they go, yeah, that looks nice. And you're like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
If you were to achieve that, what would life look like? Yeah, it'd be nice. Dude, who the fuck does anything because it would be nice?
It's not good enough. It's for the same reason that if ever I'm teaching a business owner about offer creation and stuff like that, it's like specificity is so important. And specificity when you're talking about goals is really important as well. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, because 20 grand would be nice. Dude, if you don't know what you want to do with it, if you don't know who you want to help, if you don't know what you want to buy, if you don't know what position in life you want that 20 grand to put you in, then it's meaningless. And if it's meaningless, you won't chase it. And if you don't chase it, guess what? You're not going to fucking get there. You know, because I know there's a lot of people that shit on, you know, manifestation, and that's got a bad rap. I wouldn't call it manifestation, although you could probably quantify it as that. But it's more visualization, right? And you ever seen the Olympic bobsleigh teams in the hotel room before they do their race? They're all sat in their positions and they've got their eyes closed and they're all doing this is because they're visualizing the corners. And the reason that they do that is because they know that visualization starts to trick the brain into believing that that's already happened. It's already done, because your brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's not real, which is why you will cry if you're a pussy like me. You'll cry. Remind me to come back to that word, pussy. I learned something. I was this year's old when I learned what the word pussy means. It's fucking going downhill since I had that bauble, I tell you.
Should we think of another podcast topic and start again?
Probably. Yeah, probably. But your brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's not, which is why you will, get upset or maybe cry if you're a big girl like me at a sad film. It's like in reality, you're like, that you are just watching something on the telly. It's not real. He didn't actually shoot Old Yeller. Like, nobody actually shot the dog. That didn't really happen, but still it's upsetting. And that's because your brain struggles to differentiate between what's real and what's not. And that's the reason that, and not just the bobsleigh team, you ever see the high jumpers before they do it, you see them, they're stood on the back line of the track, and they're doing this, and they're bringing that, and they're going, and you go, what the fuck is that guy doing? He's visualizing his takeoff. He's visualizing his jump, because you're able to trick your brain into believing that you've done something, even if you haven't. So manifestation, visualization, whatever you want to call it, is really fucking important. And unless you've got that ability to kind of visually map where you want to be, what you want to be doing, who you want to be doing it with, but nobody takes the time to do it. Nobody takes the fucking time to do it.
Yeah.
And you'd be able to achieve those goals so much easier, so much faster, if you did just take maybe an hour to really think where it is you want to be, and lock that in as an image, and write it down every morning, write it down every night. It starts to trick the brain into believing that it's already happened, that it's a foregone conclusion.
Conor McGregor, have you ever seen him before he knocks out, was it Jose Aldo?
Oh yeah, practicing was it the right hand or the left hand or something?
Literally manifesting, visualizing. Obviously, he'd studied, there's preparation, all that stuff that goes into it. But it's scary. And it comes down, it's setting goals, it's being prepared. He literally visualized the exact way he was going to knock him out.
Right up until he was 15 minutes out from the actual fight, in the dressing room, just practicing that shot over and over and over. Yeah.
I think it's Jordan Peterson. He says something like, you're 46% more likely to achieve a goal if you actually write it down.
Yeah.
Something like
my
that.
mentor always tells me to write it down in the morning, write it down at lunchtime, write it down in the evening. And for years, I thought that was bullshit. I'm like, what a load of bollocks. But once you understand psychology and how your brain works, and you know that your brain cannot tell the difference between what's real and what's not, just the habit of writing it down and reminding yourself over and over and over and over again makes your brain go, oh, well, yeah, that's a done deal. And then when your brain thinks it's a done deal, you start to take the actions necessary, because there's obviously, you can't just sit there and go, I want to be really wealthy, right? And then not take the action. If you want to get into the science of why it works, is because once you convince your brain that it's already happened, you start to take the actions necessary to make it happen. Because you're like, yeah, this is easy, I've already done that. So then you take the actions necessary to get there. And so there's a physical action that needs to play into it, but it all starts in your fucking head. The old phrase, whether you think you will or you think you won't, you're probably going to be right. And that's exactly the same thing. You've got to think about what it is that you want. You've got to write it down. You've got to spend the time focusing on it, which nobody fucking does, which is why nobody gets to their goal. Not nobody, but the people that, the people that take this shit seriously are 10 times more likely to achieve what they want than the people that go, "Ow, what a load of bollocks." And I was in that camp. I was one of those people. What a load of bollocks. I may as well just go and hug a fucking tree. It's the real deal. Now I'm older and wiser. I know that it's true. Don't forget, if you want the free training and the complete mini course on all of these processes where we go super deep and give you the inside scoop, mini course is in the description.
I think, probably fair to say, I'm going to save about a lot of people. That's a very scientific. I'm going to save about a lot of people, maybe 10 to 15 grand on sales training by sharing this insider knowledge. Most sales training is pretty much the same. Do you know what the biggest part they're all going to focus on? He's making you become the person you need to be so that the words fucking land.
Yeah.
So you think I'm going to go in, I'm going to spend 10 to 15 grand, I'm going to learn all this high level advanced shit. Yeah, absolutely you will. Most sales training programs focus on self mastery, goal setting, showing up, getting a good diet, a good night's sleep, being the person you need to be. And it was quite funny. I saw a TikTok on this morning. I can't remember who it was, but they were saying so many people steal lines from what they see on TikTok and Instagram, and it doesn't work. The reason it doesn't work, there's a few different levels, is the person saying it in the first place has the conviction, has lived the experience, can use the reframe because it means something to them, and they are actually a fucking leader behind it.
Yeah.
They've invested, they've done hard shit, so they can back it up. So even if a prospect pushes back on it, they can stand firm.
Yeah.
But then you have a new closer who tries it, the reframe doesn't land because the non-verbal communication is off, and they shit the bed.
Yeah.
Goal setting, going to bed on time, having a good diet, salt, water, electrolytes, all that sort of stuff. It sounds so boring. If you were to look at it at face value, we both did in the past. You thought that's such a load of bollocks.
Yeah.
I'm just going to work my arse off. I'm going to get the skills, and law of compounding returns. It will show up. It will happen. Bullshit.
The last business mentor I hired, the first module in his program is all about mindset and goal setting and stuff like that. And when I first got in, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
let's just skip this module. Only in his program, you're not allowed to. You cannot progress to the next module until you have, and there's like a little test at the end. So you can't even skip through. You've actually got to go through the modules, and you've got to pass the test before the next module opens up. And do you know what? I had a conversation with him the other day, and I said, I'm so grateful that you designed it that way, because I am the person that would have skipped that module. And I'm so glad I didn't. So shout out to Tom.
But here's the thing. For someone like Tom, I would sit there and watch that module. The reason, I'm exactly the same. Most of the communities I go in, programs I go into, I don't think they have the lived experience to have the conviction in talking about mindset.
Yeah.
So you sort of read it and the words sound right, but you're just like, dude, fucking spare me.
Yeah.
I've heard this so many times. You haven't made any hard sacrifices in your life. You don't have the lived experience for you to really convey the conviction in what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
You've just gone to YouTube, you've gone to ChatGPT and go, do me a mindset module. This is important for the people listening. You're just like, fucking spare me.
Yeah. Yeah. ChatGPT will not give you any good advice on mindset. But somebody that's had to grow through it and endure the trials and tribulations of it, that person will almost certainly say, yeah, dude, here's the reason you need to do it. And if you don't want to do it, you're a fucking idiot.
How do we rescue this? It's like a sales call. We had someone in the group ask us the other day, if I get to the end of the call and I've realised I've done X, Y, and Z wrong, how do I rescue it?
No,
and I was like, you don't. You fucked it. You've just got
you've
to
already
push
fucked
through.
it. Yeah,
We're
there's no pulling it
31
back at
minutes
that
in.
point.
There is no bringing this episode back other than either of us just sitting and watching our own stuff because it makes us happy. And I think
Makes
that's the
us
way you
laugh.
should make content. Fuck what all the gurus say, making it for your ideal client avatar, understanding their pain points, the language they use. We're doing the complete inverse.
They're
and
all
just
wrong.
using this. We just use this as a therapeutic hour in our week to amuse ourselves.
Yeah. This is a therapy session for me.
Mm-hmm. Talk to us about your goals, Jeff.
My goals.
Okay, fine. Maybe we could. If there was some absolute psycho gangster out there, 31 minutes, who's still listening, in your earlier days, before you had the accolades.
So my goals were always, I was in that classic situation where I hated my job. Used to work for Mercedes-Benz. Hated my job. Hated my boss. Absolute douchebag, if he's listening, which he's not, but whatever. And I was miserable, dude. I was burning out, working 12 hours a day for very little return. Even if you hit target, you're told that you're a piece of shit. It was just terrible, awful, toxic, horrendous working environment. So my goal was just freedom. My goal was like, if I can make way better than average money, if I don't have to answer to a prick like him, if I can work on my terms, control my own calendar, and have some level of success, I don't need a Lambo on the drive. It would be nice to be debt free. Those were my goals. And dude, I hit those goals pretty quick, like inside of 6 months. You know, paid off the mortgage on the house, bought a really nice car, paid down all the debt, got out of the 9 to 5, started working for myself and controlling my own calendar. Beyond that, I think, so now obviously your goals shift and your goals change. And it's good. This is going to sound pretty wank, but my goal moving forward is like more of the same, you know? And everybody is always like, well, surely you want to massively increase revenue and you want to hit that million a month mark, don't you? No, I definitely don't. You know how many business owners I speak to that are close to or at a million a month and hate their lives because most people, you know, start a business, start a coaching business because they want some form of time, money, and location freedom. And they build this huge business to $1 million a month, and all of a sudden they're in team meetings all day long, and then there's executive meetings, and I want to do this, and you've got to do that, and you've got to be training these people, and I'm hiring, I'm firing, and that. You sit down with them and you actually say, why did you start your business in the first place? They're just like, dude, I just wanted some time, money, and location freedom. I didn't want all this fucking shit. I didn't want all this stress. So for me, it's continuing to live a really good life where I make way better than average income. I get to spend a lot of time with the people that I love. I get to do the things I want to do. I get to travel to the places I want to travel to. And outside of that, dude, I'm a pretty content human, which is a blessing to be able to say, because I know a lot of people that aren't content, and they're chasing. You ever listen to the Chris Williamson podcast, Modern Wisdom?
Mm-hmm.
You ever hear his story about the Mexican fisherman?
Possibly, but tell it.
So, Mexican fisherman docks his boat in the little harbor, and on the harbor there's a businessman, and the businessman says to the fisherman, how did you do today? And he said, pretty good, not bad, got some fish, and you know, everything's pretty good. And he said, what are you going to do with the rest of your day? And he said, you know what, I've got a really blessed life. He said, I go out fishing 2-3 hours a day. I come back, I sell my fish at the market. I spend lazy afternoons with my wife. And then in the evening, I go down to the square where I play guitar and drink a few beers with my friends. And the businessman goes, well, what you should do is you should like buy another boat so that you can have a little fleet. And that way you'd be able to catch more fish. And the fisherman goes, well, what for? And he goes, well, so that you can make more money. And he's like, all right, okay. Well, what then? He said, well, from there, once you start making more money, you can increase your fleet so that you can catch even more fish, make even more money. The fisherman goes, all right, well, what then? And he says, well, from there, you're probably going to have to move like to a big city so that you can be plugged into the commerce and the markets and all that kind of stuff so that you can really start to build out an empire. And the fisherman goes, all right, well, what then? He was like, well, once you've built an empire, you'll have so much money that you won't know what to do with it. You'll have built this massive business. And he goes, okay, well, what then? And he says, well, once you've built a massive business, you can sell it and retire with all of that money. Let me ask you, if you had millions and millions of pounds or dollars, what would you do with all of that money? And he said, I'd retire to the coast where I can spend 2 hours a day fishing, come back and spend lazy afternoons with my wife, walk into town in the evening, play guitar and drink some beers with my friends. Dude, when I heard that story, I was like, fuck. There's so many people that are closer to the goals that they want. Do you know what blue tack drop?
Mm.
They're closer to the goals that they want, and sometimes you think you want all of this stuff. I want to go and give them more and more and more and more. And why for all of it? Well, so that I can be content, so that I can live in a nice part of the world, so that I can do the things I want to do with the people I want to do them with. You're so much closer to that without being a gajillionaire with a fucking Miami fuckboy Lambo on the drive. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Like, if you want to build a big business to sell, more power to you. But if you want more of a lifestyle where you make great money, you get to do the things you want to do with the people you want to do them with.
Yeah. I think
it's closer than most people think.
Yeah. And I think that's what's missing from so many people's businesses when they're sitting there planning it. If the first word on that piece of paper, that Word document, that Notion document was enjoyment, and that is what you reverse engineered, people would build 20 grand a month businesses.
Yeah.
Rather than £1 million a month businesses.
Yeah.
Because you think about the coach who starts chasing freedom, time, money, whatever that means. How many coaches that actually own £1 million business actually coach anybody?
Right.
Or just sit replying to emails all day long, being in a setter training at 11 a.m., being on the closer training at 12 p.m., sat
Marketing
behind a
meeting,
camera. Yeah, a Zoom meeting, sat behind a
projections,
camera recording.
KPIs,
Yeah.
executive this, and I've got to meet with my COO. And like I said, dude, if that's your bag, great. But for most people, they don't want to get into closing or setting. They don't want to get into entrepreneurship for anything other than some freedom. And I get that there's a group of people where that's not the case. I want to build the biggest thing I possibly can. Great, more power to you. It's just, I think there's a lot more people that just want satisfaction and comfort and peace.
Right, we've dragged this podcast out more than enough, I think. It's been
Christmas
absolute
pod done.
Christmas pod done. We should do better. That should be a goal of ours next year.
Okay.
Do better.
We're gonna put that in the goal setting book. Let's be better. Let's not be such
it comes to the point. We actually do what we do because we enjoy doing it.
Right.
Yes, there's monetary goals and everything attached to it, but this specifically, the coaching, the community that we have, there are elements that we've discussed before that we don't like about the day-to-day of what we do, of like managing the teams. There's repetition, there's managing people. For the most part, we do enjoy it, and that's why we continue to do it. Like any job, even if you do reverse engineer enjoyment, there's still going to be stressful elements. There's still going to be bad days.
Yeah.
This is we genuinely see this as like a therapy for us, helping the guys, coaching them, being able to be there in that capacity for them to help them grow. That's something that we both enjoy doing and take a lot of, pride out of.
Yeah, for sure.
So for us, who cares if we get 3 listeners? No one's even listening to this bit because they were gone 39 minutes ago. But we chase enjoyment, and that's why we'll carry on doing it.
Amen to that.
Amen to that. Go next some baubles.
Won't see you next week.
No.
But we'll be back in the new year. Season 2. We're going to see how little we can teach you, but how much we can entertain you. Cheers, buddy.
Have a good one.
You too.
Bye for now.